Can y'all see me? I don't know. This is kind of a bad angle, but can you guys see me okay? My water bottle just fell, and that was like the loudest noise ever. I'm so sorry. Hi guys. I'm using my tripod today because I feel like a YouTuber, lol. I still don't have a microphone. I want to get one soon so that you'll be able to hear me like very nicely. I just wanted to make a quick little video to just talk a little bit about the month of April. So April is actually Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It also, I believe, is Autism Awareness Month as well, which and then it's something else, I think. I'll put it on the screen if I don't get it right. I don't really remember what it was exactly. We're celebrating those things as well, and those are great as well. And I work with kids with disabilities and everything like that. I've worked with a lot of children on the spectrum, and I love it. It's one of the best things ever. They're just so smart, and they're so funny, and they think of things that I never would have thought about it that way. And I love hearing different perspectives from different people, because it just makes me, I feel like, a better person, and it makes me way more empathetic towards others. And yeah, it just helps you understand the people around you, and it's really cool. I really do love doing that. So I have ADHD, so I'm not autistic, I'm not on the spectrum or anything, but I do understand what it's like to have a different brain. I am actually on medication and stuff, and it's worked greatly for me. I highly recommend it if you're someone that's thinking about taking medication, if you have ADHD. I think it helps so much. Back to what I was saying before. So yes, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which is super exciting for me because I do love speaking about this. I speak about this whenever, like any month. I don't care if a month is like dedicated to a specific thing. I will talk about sexual assault whenever I'm able to. I'm not really sure if I'm able to say the full word on YouTube, so I'm just gonna say SA, but that is what it stands for. As many of you know, I'm not sure if I've ever really like explained this on my channel at all. I mean, a lot of people that I've talked to personally in private know this about me, but I've talked about it before on TikTok, and I've posted videos of stuff like that. It's not news, I feel like, to most people that I have been sexually assaulted. When I was younger, I was sexually assaulted for most of my childhood. It started from the age of like 6 to at least 8. And then there was another occurrence that happened when I was 11. Ever since then, I have not been sexually assaulted. Praise the Lord, thank you. But also, I have been in therapy ever since then. It's really impacted my life, and I think it impacts everyone that goes through it. I think that everyone deals with their SA in different ways, and there is no right way to deal with it, but I believe that you have to try to find some healthy balance in dealing with it, like going to therapy, for instance, maybe getting on antidepressants if it's really hurting your words are hard. It's really hurting your like everyday life and stuff. It's really a good idea to maybe consult a professional about it. I am not a professional of any means at all. I can only just give advice of like from personal experience, but I highly recommend speaking to a professional because I don't know everything. I'm still going through things as well. I'm still healing from everything as well. So I am not a perfect example, and I don't think anybody is. So I was sexually assaulted quite a bit when I was younger. It was an ongoing thing. I hate people that drive motorcycles. Like, can they just not? It's so loud. And I think it's very important to talk about it no matter what. I know like some people don't really like to talk about it because they're like, it's so sad, and you know, I just don't want to bring the mood down and stuff like that. And I totally get that. No one's asking you to just bring it up in random conversation. Like if you guys are talking about like, I don't know, a favorite show or something that's like, by the way, like somebody sexually assaulted me. Like no one's asking you to bring it up like that. But if you're, you know, ready to confide in somebody about it, and say like, you know, this happened to me and it's really affected me ever since then, like that is a good thing to do. Consult in the people that you feel like super comfortable with, people that you know won't judge you or anything like that, people you trust, because it is a very sacred thing, I think, when we go through this. Like, we don't obviously want everyone to know, I feel like, because if it gets into somebody's hands that isn't the nicest person and they start telling everybody and shaming you, like, it's not great. So make sure you tell people that you're super comfortable with and that you trust. Everybody has different experiences and all SAs are valid. Some people have been SA'd by people in their family, myself included, or they have been SA'd by a partner that they were with in a romantic relationship. And just because it happens in a romantic relationship does not mean that it's not SA. Just because you are in a romantic relationship with someone does not automatically mean consent. Consenting is very important, and you need to talk about it with your partner before you do intimate things with them. Because you guys are dating, it does not mean that that person can have complete control over your body whenever they want. You have to consent to that. For me, consent is something that's through, like, very outright said. It's not something that's just like hinted at, and that's where some people need to understand that when people say no, they mean no. And I know that sounds like, well, duh, but some people just don't understand that concept, which is a little frustrating. And it's also like, dude, get it together. Like, I don't understand how you don't get what that means. Like, you're dumb. So if someone is saying, no, I don't like when you do this, the right thing is to, I don't know, stop doing it and don't do it if they don't like that. You can't just do something to someone because you want to do it for your own benefit. If they don't want that as well, then stop it and don't fucking do it. Sorry, I try not to swear, but I get kind of a little heated with this situation because there are so many people that still believe that consent is not a thing and that none of it matters, and it's just like, don't be dumb. Always make sure that you have consent with anyone that you come into contact with. I feel like there is also a lot of victim blaming quite often, especially on social media. I think social media can be great for a lot of reasons, but it does a lot of harm when people come out about their experiences with someone, specifically if they are a celebrity. A lot of people tend to dismiss that and say and automatically assume that they're lying, which I would much rather believe someone who is accusing someone of sexual assault than believing the person that did the sexual assault. I would much rather feel better about defending a person who is a victim rather than the perpetrator. And I feel like everybody should feel that way, and everybody should do that. And everyone should understand that as well. If that does end up being the case where this person did sexually assault this other person, wouldn't you feel better if you, I don't know, supported the person that was saying that they were sexually assaulted instead of victim blaming them and saying, no, that didn't happen, even though you weren't there and you don't know them personally? Just because someone is famous does not mean that they are exempt from the law. Celebrities are not excused from that. I believe everybody kind of puts celebrities on this pedestal and stuff. I used to listen to Melanie Martinez when I was younger, and I loved her. I loved her a lot. And from someone who has been sexually assaulted before, if I ever listen to somebody like a celebrity, like a singer, like whatever, or I like an actress or actor or whatever, that if I like them a lot and I find out that they have sexual assault allegations against them, found out that they have essayed anyone in any way, I will automatically stop supporting that person. With Melanie Martinez, I actually am pretty ashamed to say that I didn't at first, because I didn't know what was going on, because a lot of people were spreading misinformation at that time, which that's why it's important to do your own research. I was very young at this time too, so I wasn't really on the internet so much, so all I ever heard, like, I didn't even have, I mean, I had Musical.ly, but nobody was really, like, talking about stuff like that, like on TikTok. Like, people on TikTok now talk about everything, but on Musical.ly, no one really talked about that. And so I would watch, like, YouTube videos and stuff, but I would just read a lot of the comments, and people would have, like, proof or whatever, and those would really pop up on my algorithm and stuff, and I would see that stuff and I'd be like, oh, okay, so she's innocent. I don't know whether or not if she really did those things. to me, it hasn't been proven that she hasn't done those things. So for right now and just forever, I'm not gonna listen to her stuff or go to her concerts or anything like that, because I just don't feel comfortable. Kind of see the controversial side of some of her music that she puts out, and all that, and I don't really agree with it at all. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. If you are a person of the internet who supports celebrities and stuff, I'm not saying that you can't like celebrities. You need to be really careful about how we are going about these things, because somebody getting sexually assaulted is not drama. It's actually, I don't know, a crime. And a lot of people love to put on TikTok and YouTube and whatever platform and be like, here's the new gossip with this person, and this person essayed this person. But it's kind of presented to you as gossip and tea and drama when it's not drama, it's someone's life and it's a crime. And it also is very sad for the victim that's coming forward and telling the story, because there is honestly, like a very big chance that nobody's going to believe her, especially if this person is very well loved in their community or, whatever. So it is very scary for victims to come forward, and also they have a lot more to lose than the celebrity. The celebrity has a lot of money, and even if they aren't like a millionaire, they definitely have a larger sum than most working class people. So because of this, they are able to pay off other people to keep quiet. Whereas the victim can actually be quite shamed by society and most of the world. And most of the world is on the internet. Death threats, and for people to not wish you well, for people to try to get you to not have a job because of these things or stuff like that can really affect people. And that can go with just regular people as well. If somebody sexually assaults someone who is just someone that's not a celebrity, people are more likely to believe the perpetrator, because people are very used to victim blaming. A lot of times the question is asked of what were you wearing, which is never a good question to ask somebody that has been sexually assaulted, but also it's not an important question. The important question is, are you okay? How can I support you? And what do you want to do about this? Because there are some people that come forward with their essay that do not want to press charges, and that do not want to fight it in the court. They don't want to do any of that. And the reason because is a lot of the times when there is a sexual assault situation and stuff between, let's just say a man and a woman or something. Men can also be sexually assaulted too, but let's just use a man and a woman for example, right? If a man sexually assaults this girl, right? And if she doesn't have proof and it's just more of her word against his, it's more likely to be harder to win in that case. Because if you don't have any proof, how are you able to convict them as guilty and send them to jail? There's so much to consider, especially because there are so many things to get into. I mean, if it's a rape, they do a rape kit, but even then they it's tricky. It's a tricky situation. There's so many things to consider. A lot of people don't come forward because typically they're not believed. It's not a safe thing to do sometimes, especially if you're in an abusive relationship with someone and they do this to you. It off you if you tell anyone about what happened. It's devastating. There are so many things that you feel when things like this happen. Your body feels disgusting. You want to just throw it away. You want to scrub your body of any germs that could have been possibly left by your rapist, abuser. It's really a tough thing. If someone tells you that they have been sexually assaulted, listen to them and believe them, because that could really save their lives. I have healed quite a bit from mine. I will say, being with a therapist and stuff like that and being on medication is probably the best decisions I've ever made. It's helped me quite a bit. But you also have a choice in what you do after this. A lot of people say, I've been sexually assaulted, but what do I do now? What am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to go about my regular day-to-day life? There's a few things you can do. You can go to therapy. You can start seeing someone. You can start taking antidepressants that will help with the depression and the anxiety that you have. A lot of times you will develop PTSD from it. I have. It was definitely really hard to sleep for a long time. And there's different things that you can do for that. For me, my cats always sleep with me when I'm going to bed. One of my cat, like Max, because Bella doesn't like to be by him, he sleeps with me every night. And he's always with me. Like, he's literally with me right now. He's right here. Because he knows that I've been through a lot. Like, he can sense that. And he is always with me. Even when I go to the bathroom, he has to, like, be right by me. He has to be watching me no matter what to make sure that I'm okay. Always think of that, too. You can always get a companion. Especially, like, if you are scared of someone breaking into your house, maybe get a big dog or something. That someone that you know that can protect you and can alert you if someone suspicious comes by or anything like that. What's helped me a lot too is listening to music before bed, like very calming music and stuff. Like I'll put like a timer and then normally I'll fall asleep before it ends and stuff, and it's very calming. Essential oils in your room, like candles, like stuff like that can really help. There are small things, but there are things besides taking bigger steps like therapy and medications that can really help in the meantime. I think taking precautions is okay too. Like if you want to make sure that your doors are 100% locked, if there's no way that anyone can get in, your windows are locked, all that stuff, that is totally up to you, and that is totally something that I think is a good thing to do. If it makes you feel safe, I think it's great. And don't be ashamed even to stay with someone, like have someone at your house. Like if you live alone, you can always and have someone stay over, or you can stay over at someone else's house if you don't feel safe. That's always an option as well. Confide in people about it. Try to tell someone about it. Talk about it as much as you can. Even if it feels repetitive, like it helps to just talk about it. It really does. Or if you're somebody who finds it very difficult to talk about, journaling is always the way to go, honey. Or if you're someone like me with my ADHD, it's sometimes really hard to write all my thoughts down because my mind is going so quick that I have to write like this. You can always just record yourself talking or do a voice memo of you talking about it and stuff like that, just to get it out of there, and then you can delete it afterwards if you'd like. Before I end this video, I want to have just a little bit of advice for you. Lie to you and tell you sorry. I was choking, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm better. I can't lie to you and tell you that, you're gonna be healed in a few days or a few weeks. Honestly, even months is a really hard thing to say. It can take years. It really can. Because it is such a traumatic thing to happen, especially to your body, and to your mind, just everything. And I really encourage everyone who has been sexually assaulted to just be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Don't blame yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but it is not your fault. And that's something to remember. It is not your fault. And I know it doesn't feel like it, but at one point it's gonna be okay. And it's gonna feel okay, and you won't be terrified anymore. I know it's gonna take a long time, but when you finally feel that, it's amazing. It really is, to be set free from that. But take all the time you need to grieve that, to grieve, who you once were before this happened to you. But don't let it define you, because it doesn't. It's something that happened to you, but it's not who you are. Don't let them take that power from you. I didn't really deal with my sexual assault until I had turned 16. Because I think a part of you wants to block it out and doesn't really want to talk about it or acknowledge it. There's some people that take their essay to their grave and they don't tell anyone about it. I am not here to judge anybody on how they choose to deal with something. But for me, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. It was going to eat me alive for the rest of my life, and it was getting worse and worse the more I did not come to terms with it. And now that I have, and now that I've spoken to it with my therapist and my close friends and family, I just feel so much more relieved now. But I can't lie to you and tell you that I haven't had bad days where, I feel like it's happening again, or I feel scared. I can't even lie to you, say that there's not times that I don't cry about it. I mean, there is many times when I'm by myself and I'm alone with my thoughts and stuff, and I think about stuff like that, and you really do mourn who you once were, and you really do feel terrible for yourself. When I was 6 and everything, and I was sexually assaulted during that time, I work with 8-year-olds. That's the grade that I work with. I work with 2nd graders and stuff. And I just think about, you know, those kids going through similar things like that. Like, and you see how little they are and how innocent they are and how pure they are, and you feel devastated. You really do. And I just think of myself when I was that young and I was that small, and if I could see her now, I would give her a big hug and I would tell her that, like, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve that, and there were so many things that were taken away from me because of that. But she would be so proud of me now. I mean, think of that, though. I mean, she would think I was so cool. She'd probably think that I could get through anything. You know what I mean? So I like to think of that sometimes, that little me is probably so proud of me now, and I like to think she thinks I'm pretty cool. Alright, well, I think that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I normally don't do things like this, but I'm very passionate about it, and it's a good thing to talk about it, and I love you guys. Next time when you see me in a video, I'll probably have a microphone, okay? Then you'll be able to hear me very, very well, but right now I just have a tripod. I'm stretching, like, so much. I'm like, ugh. I'm gonna read my book now. I'm gonna watch a movie or something, but please take care of yourself. Please drink water. Stay healthy. Love yourself. You're amazing. Okay, you're amazing. And you gotta take care of yourself because it's really important, and I love you, and thank you for everything. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I hope to see you in my next video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really awkward. Sorry. Okay. Bye.